Chapter 13. 10 Lessons. The sound of bells echoed across the hill. Everyone got up as a cadre named Bay entered the cell to inform the inmates that they must gather at the hall when a signal bell rang after breakfast. He said it would be the first lesson. I woke up, rinsed my mouth, washed my face, and waited for breakfast. A bucket of thin congee with a bit of salt was brought back and shared among everyone by the person on duty. Starving, I devoured the meal, drank a gulp of water, and waited for the time to go to class. Even before the bell rang, many inmates had already lined up along the road. Some teams in Block 1, who were closer to the kitchen and had eaten earlier, started heading to the hall after hearing the signal. By the time we entered, the hall was already packed with inmates. The hall, which used to be a vocational training center for orphans when the camp was an orphanage village, was approximately 100 meters long and 40 meters wide. There was nothing inside except for a table and a few chairs at the far end, a flag of the National Liberation Front of South Vietnam, and a portrait of Ho Chi Minh with the words, "President Ho Chi Minh will forever live in our cause" underneath. On the left wall hung the slogan, "Nothing is more precious than independence and freedom," while another slogan, "Vietnam is one. The Vietnamese people are one. Rivers may dry, mountains may erode, but this truth will never change," adorned the right wall. We sat down inside the hall, using our sandals as makeshift seats. A few cadres dressed in plain clothes and wearing green pit helmets entered and sat at the table. One cadre stood up and introduced Comrade Hai Khan, the camp's leader who would address us. He told us to stand and remove our hats to greet Hai Khan, a man in his 50s, thin and pale, about 1.65 meters tall, spoke in a high-pitched voice amplified by the loudspeaker. In his speech, Hai Khan declared that the party and the state had granted us amnesty from the death penalty, and we needed to undergo re-education to become honest citizens. To begin the re-education program, we had to study 10 lessons on Vietnamese history, particularly the revolutionary history of the communists. He claimed that the heroic Vietnamese people had defeated 3 of the world's greatest imperialist powers, the French colonizers, the Japanese fascists, and especially the American imperialists. He described the U.S. as the international policeman and the leader of capitalism, characterizing capitalism as a leech with 2 suckers, one to drain the blood of its domestic people and another to exploit its colonies. Capitalism, according to him, was in its death throes, while the 3 revolutionary currents were stronger than ever. These currents, as defined by Hai Khan, were the revolution to liberate colonial nations, the Democratic Revolution, and the Socialist Revolution. After defeating American imperialism, Vietnam had completed its liberation revolution, and its next task was to fulfill the Democratic Revolution and advance towards socialism. He added, "To love one's country is to love socialism." I was utterly shocked by this definition. Our clapping, following Hai Khan's lead at the end of each point in his speech, left us perplexed. We were entirely unfamiliar with such a practice. For those of us who have been part of the so-called puppet military and puppet government of South Vietnam, Hai Khan accused us of being criminals who had opposed the people and the revolution. We were labeled as American imperialist lackeys, and therefore needed re-education to become decent citizens. We had to abandon our parasitic lives and engage in labor like other honest citizens. Re-education, he explained, involved both ideological and behavioral transformation. This was the first time in my life I heard the communist definition of labor. Hai Khan stated that labor was the measure of progress in the re-education process. He extolled Vietnam as a rich and beautiful country with golden forests and silver seas, populated by heroic people such as the Trung sisters and Quang Trung, who had defeated Chinese invaders, and especially the Ho Chi Minh generation. He emphasized the need for hard work to catch up with other advanced nations. While socialist countries and global friends were supporting Vietnam in post-war reconstruction, the primary reliance must be on ourselves. We had to work tirelessly to build a wealthy and beautiful nation. Hai Khan's speech, delivered fluently as if thoroughly memorized, was occasionally interspersed with poems by Ho Chi Minh. We listened silently. However, the crucial question we wanted to know remained unclear. How exactly will we be re-educated? None of us believed we were there merely to study 10 lessons or learn about labor, although we wished that were the case. After Hai Khan's speech concluded, another cadre named Bao introduced himself as the deputy camp leader and informed us a schedule that included lectures and discussions in our rooms. We returned to our rooms to have lunch and reflect on our uncertain fates in the days ahead.